lament the fact that I can't be an astronomer. Because I realized one day that there's infinite stars in the sky. There's infinite times I want to tell you I love you.
I wish I could burp. I just don't do that kind of thing.
You burp, right?
No!
Like never?
Why would I do that?
I just feel like you have to. Hello, everybody!
Bam, bam, bam!
Rah, rah, rah.
Gamer 2, do you burp?
Pre-production, we were talking about burping, and if
Burping.
DIVOS burps or not.
I don't burp.
Everyone burps.
No.
Everyone burps. It's like everyone poops.
I told you, I do this. I go... So, audio listeners, I clutch my pearls, and I convulse inwards a little bit.
But that's shut it back down.
Yeah, I do a little shimmy. I don't do any of this burping that you're speaking about.
Camera 2, back me up. Everybody burps. Everybody burps.
Why would you do that?
Because it's kind of satisfying.
Oh,
My dad, what he'll do sometimes. I shout at my dad.
It's a sin of the flesh.
Salt of the wound.
Okay.
What he'll do is he'll burp, he'll go, but like cover his mouth. So it's like, oh, I stifled it nice. But then he'll breathe, he'll go, just breathe it straight out. So he thinks he's being polite. But it's really, worse. He's just blowing concentrated burp into someone's face. Oh gosh. Unintentionally.
This is taking this conversation in a direction I don't want to take it. Into flatulence.
Into flatulence. Flatulence.
So who are you?
Welcome to Twink Twank Twunk, everybody. My name is Zach. I'm a purveyor of many trinkets and oddities, and I once sled down a ski run on a penguin on its back.
Wow. My name is DIVOS, inventor of chlorophyll and photosynthesis.
Nice.
Your favorite piece of walking, talking, visual art existing at the intersection, that's a cross-section for those of you not in the United States of America, of glamour and comedy.
Ooh. That brings up a great point, DIVOS. All the Europeans listen to us. They don't know what crossroads are, cross sections, or intersections.
Yeah, they call them go-go X's. Yeah.
They just have roundabouts, the roundabouts.
Roundabouts.
Oh, wait, could you, next episode, we have the roundabouts of glamour and comedy.
Of glamour and comedy.
But I will say, roundabouts have a lot more nodes. So you're at the roundabout of glamour, comedy, fashion, high fashion,
camp,
low fashion,
intelligence, clown, creature, horror,
necklace. So I have a question. We're very funny people. We're hilarious. Back me up here.
Back us up.
Can you ever recall a time when a joke of yours like landed properly flat?
No.
Like, uncomfortably so.
Absolutely not.
Never?
No, not once, really.
Never once?
I think no.
Never.
No. Do you have experiences with that? Share with the group.
Well, of course.
Oh.
I'm what we call a volume shooter, so I shoot out a lot of jokes. And my comedy most often comes from my own reaction to my own joke.
Sure.
You know, thus the laughs, the chuckles, the what might I say?
The chortles.
The revelries, yes. the chortles.
The chortles. Yeah, give me your best chortle.
That's a good chortle. but sometimes if people don't really get it, that's my humor. I'll say a joke. I'll go, I'll just wait for a second. And they won't get it.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
We're going to do something crazy. We're going to do an unprecedented early episode bit of the week.
Ooh.
Because you just inspired one that I've been thinking about, but I keep forgetting to do it.
Yes, what?
So when Zach and I were like, I think we would already have labeled ourselves as best friends at this time. But it was during COVID, so we were elevating to like the level of bonding that's kind of, I don't know if humans were meant to do that, but we had to. And so
it was a survival tactic.
It was a survival tactic. Yeah. So there was a period of time where I noticed I would say a joke, and maybe this is what you're referring to when you're saying a joke might not land, but you would laugh because you always laugh, but then you'd go, what? And it wasn't a bit until we noticed that you were doing it, and then it became a bit because he was too nice, and he likes the yes and so much that he would just laugh no matter. But sometimes I was doing jokes that either went over his head or he just didn't have the references to. It was the exact same laugh. It just ended with a huh?
Be like, what?
Yes, exactly.
Because I want to be included. I want you to feel heard and seen. Whether I get the joke or not I'm laughing. That's what matters, right?
See, so that's why I have the complete disillusionment of feeling like all my jokes land because he's constantly laughing. It doesn't matter what I say; it just has to come out of my mouth.
I will laugh at most things,
and so it became like a funny bit because it was like if a joke was like funny but not funny enough, we'd be like, "What?
What? What?
Huh? What?
I don't get it.
It's not a fun bit of the week.
I love that bit of the week. It's really, and it's historical too.
It's historical, referencing back to COVID times.
And you know what's funny? I still do it. We'll have been at work sometimes. My coworker will say a joke I either just don't get or don't understand, or don't hear. And I just go, yeah, for sure,
for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It's a good bit. Try it at home with your friends. You can even do it to mess with them. Like if they say a joke and it's like, you know, a tired joke that you've heard too many times, you can be like, what? Huh? Yeah, embarrassing them in front of other your friends. Like, oh.
Wow.
Okay, I wouldn't joke about that if that was me, but
that's a weird thing to say out loud.
Yeah, it has a lot of subtext.
Subtext. Ooh, I like that. You know, kind of on the this is a big segue. So
sure.
If you want any more about the bit of the week, please.
No, I'm happy there.
Okay. Something that I thought about recently was kind of explaining. I thought it'd be fun to kind of bring up on the podcast. You and your siblings, or you and close friends, I feel like you can always tell normally when someone's lying or joking or or being truthful, right? Well, my brother Joe and I created this system, the levels of comedy we call it, right? So level 1 is completely honest, like no jokes whatsoever, straight truth. Level 2 is like a joke, right? So it's like you make a joke. Level 3 is like kind of like a sarcasm joke. Like you're making a joke of a joke or a joke of a reference. Kind of like if I were to make a joke about like the bit of the week we just had.
Yes.
That would be level 3.
The placebo effect.
The placebo effect, precisely. And then level 4 is a joke so deep that it comes back to the truth. Kind of like how I love dabbing. Started ironic, now it's serious again. Now that's level 4. So we kind of came up with these layers of comedy. But now what's kind of just evolved into is if I ever need something like 100% truth from Megan Lee, I'll say level 1, and they'll be like level 1, and bing bang. Like if he came back and told me, Zach, I just went back to the future, level 1, I'd be like, no fuck. Like, so how's JFK? Like, wow. How's Barack Obama?
Okay.
Well, I guess it's actually still alive.
How's Barack? He's in Hawaii. Like, he's fine. Okay. Well, so yesterday, we're going to keep it contemporary. Zach, we made a bet. And this isn't a good bet for Zach.
No.
This is a really bad bet for Zach.
Really bad bets.
So he looked at Megan Lee and I, our other roommate, and he was like, level 1, please, like, don't make me follow through on this bet. But based on that definition, it's a level 4. Because it was so serious that it's back to being... It was so ridiculous that it's back to being serious for you again. So level 1 about the level 4, cut it out.
Well, no,
that makes sense.
No, it's level 1 because I'm being like truthfully honest with you guys. Like, guys, like I don't think I can do this. Like, wow, straight up, yeah. Which is
comment down below what you think the bet might have been. I promise you're not going to guess it, but comment down below. Maybe one day. Far from now. We'll reveal it when we have the consent of a few more individuals, more context. Time has passed. The world has changed. We've watered the plants.
We're more open-minded.
Yeah. Wait, while we're in green, we have my little plant back here. I do want to talk about house plants. Now, this might seem like the most boring topic of all time.
Not at all. I actually like houseplants.
The houseplants, I was like, didn't even cross my mind until I was living with my good friend, Megan Lee. Claire D, I miss you. Hi, Claire D. Megan Lee.
Hi, Claire T. I miss you too.
She's in Columbia doing a post-bac. The university. Major.
Oh, wait. Columbia, the
the college in New York City.
Nice.
Anyway, so she brought all these beautiful plants into our apartment. And it like livens the room so much. It makes it feel alive to me. It like taking care of the plants. I'm not great at it, but when I do it correctly, I'm like, okay, this is good. Mm-hmm. It's also a great indicator for your friends of your mental health. If the plants are dying, call for help. And I just love them so much. Like this tree was one of the plants that Claire left for me. I've done a decent job. This is like one of those plants that you have to like dry. Okay, so audio listeners, behind me, there's like literally like a mini tree. I don't even know how to describe what it looks like, but Zach broke this one. This used to be another stalk. He pulled it out of rage one day. So that was pretty sad for me, but I keep it in there with her sister. Maybe she'll grow roots again, but basically you have to dry it out in between watering. And Claire taught me about how to do underwatering, where you like fill a bucket with water, place a plant in, and then let it sit for 5 minutes. And then you only have to water it like every few weeks. So I was getting my plant monologue. Do you have anything to say? Besides the fact that you're a murderer?
I have a couple things to say, actually. I cannot let it stand on public podcast. That was my fault. Because it had already fallen out. And I moved the pot.
What do you mean it had already fallen out?
I mean, it was already like that.
While we were setting up this podcast, after I was on my hands and knees, painting this floor, doing everything for this podcast, getting these chairs, which Zach did help with, but painting this stand, getting the microphones with my own dollar. Zach picks up my child, the love of my life. It
was already out.
Takes this beautiful stalk, which at the time had beautiful leaves from
No, it didn't.
Beautiful green leaves. It was actually beginning to flower.
I refuse to be slandered.
When the flowers were starting to bloom, he grabbed it from the base, from the root of the shaft, and he pulled. He didn't twist. He's not barbaric, but he pulled it out, and immediately all of the leaves began to wilt. And the flowers, you could see they weren't going to come in anymore. So it was really traumatic.
Oh my God. I need everyone to know that was not me.
Luckily the mother plant is still here, but I mean, I guess moral of the story, you can't always trust your friends. Please don't touch her after you're done. You can't always trust your friends with your children. I think that's what we used to take away from this.
I will say some truth to that story. I don't think you can trust me with plants. Okay. I had a desk plant for a while, a succulent.
What was its name?
Its name was Herbert. Spelled Herbet, but the H is silent, like herb. So his name was
B-E-T?
Herb B-E-R-T. But I did kill the succulents, and I'm now in the process, or was in the process, of killing the replacement plant I got as well. I've since left, and hopefully it's still alive. I left it in joint custody, but my other thoughts on houseplants. Okay. I agree. They really liven up the place. Right. We have this one drapey vine plant kind of right by our back door that I love. I heard some advice. You can put like tacks on the wall, have it grow like sideways too, and then keep going down. Like you literally use it as living garland. Like move it around, have it grow in different directions. Oh. I know. I'm surprised we never thought about that.
So you love that plant?
I do love that plant.
So how come when Megan Lee, our third roommate, was trying to cut off part of her for a Tarzan costume, I was the one that had to be the bad guy? Do you remember that?
Because plants grow back.
Did you not just? Oh my! I am aghast. I am aghast right now. I'm getting enraged. I'm going.
Oh.
How dare you?
Quit hulking out.
I'm hulking.
Quit hulking out.
You just were talking about how we need it to grow across the whole house, and now you're willing to cut her off at the root?
We can do both.
The same attitude that led to you dismembering this plant behind us, leaving her dead, and claiming you did nothing. How could you?
I'm innocent. The blood is on your hands. The roots are on your hands.
The roots are on my...
The roots are on your hands. And you'll live with that forever. That never washes off, Never. That being said, I love our vine plants. I love our vine plants.
Don't try to just change the topic. Don't try to tie up this portion of the podcast and change the topic after you've berated, you've attacked, you've manipulated.
Well,
you've reconstructed the story.
Okay, I'm sorry. You love being gaslit.
Gaslit?
You told me that earlier today.
I've never been gaslit once in my life. I've never let it happen.
You love being gaslit.
I said that?
Yeah.
Really?
You said that.
Oh my God.
I know.
What did I say?
You said, Zach, like, gaslighting is just such a fun activity. I love being gaslit.
That's so me.
And so you.
Oh my god.
I know. You looked really good doing it too.
Okay.
Yeah, you looked great.
I did?
I did. I will say, some of your other friends were like kind of behind your back saying you didn't look good.
They said that?
And they said that you like didn't like being gaslit. I was
what?
like, you guys don't even know DIVOS.
But you just told me that I loved it.
You told me that you love it.
I did, didn't I?
You did, yeah. And you looked great doing it.
Wow, I did.
I know.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Gee whiz.
You're blushing a little bit, you know.
Stop.
Actually, funny story on that. I have a friend, Megan Lee, who was trying to pull a prank on. I was trying to do a prank where I text her and say, hey, did I tell you the joke about the gaslighter? And they're like, no. I'm like, yes, I told you yesterday. Like, come on, you laughed. It was funny. And they're like, no, what are you talking about? That's how it's supposed to go. So I text my friend and I say, hey, have you heard the joke about the gaslighter? And then she's like, Zach, you already tried this. Like, you literally tried it on me yesterday. And I was like, oh, I did? Damn, I must have forgotten. And she literally Uno reversed me and told me about it 3 days later.
Oh my gosh. You and Megan Lee go so well together. The real Megan Lee is who we're talking about. Like, we're not, this isn't even this isn't a moment where I pop the graphic on the screen that says want credit for that reference. Subscribe to the Patreon. You want to kiss me so bad right now.
That was good.
Do you think you're a good kisser?
I like to think so.
Really?
I mean, no one's ever told me otherwise. Mm-hmm. I've never really gotten any bad feedback.
Have you gotten good feedback?
Yeah, I've gotten good feedback. I think they're just naturally good. But want to hear my first kiss story?
Yes. Oh, yes! We do!
It was with my high school girlfriend. We were at a park by my house at night. And like, we already kind of started dating. We hadn't kissed yet because like freshman in high school,
sure.
Like, very coy. And we're like laying on the grass. I say, wow, look at the stars. So I was trying to like flirt. It was a cloudy night. There were no stars. But like I said that, I was like, shit.
That's so good.
And then I'm gonna like do a little tussling, a little play fighting. Then I'm on top. And like face to face. I'm like, oh my god. And then I see her face like kind of go up a little bit. I'm like, oh my god. But apparently she was going to lick my nose as like a prank. So I went in for the kiss. I kissed her chin right here. Because her face went up. Mine went, so like her mouth went up, and I kissed her chin. And then like we kissed after that. But my first kiss was with her chin.
That's so cute.
But in my defense, if your face in your like, come on.
No, I agree. It was her fault for sure.
But it was very cute.
Yeah, that is really cute.
I know. It's pretty.
Look at the stars.
Oh
my! Is that the Big Dipper?
Whoa. Is that
Dipper's looking big. He must be working out recently.
What is it? Is it getting closer? It's getting bigger. Oh shit!
So, audio listeners, first of all, how are you? What just happened is let's say we were being silly, and we were pretending like we could see the stars. Oh my God. And so what happened is our eyes went above camera, and we looked out into the hypothetical sky, and I identified the Big Dipper. Then, Zach, what happened from your perspective?
Well, so from my perspective, one of the stars in the Big Dipper started shining brighter, started getting bigger in the sky, and thus using my imagination, I played up the fact that it was not in fact a star, but a meteor getting closer to Earth. Yes.
Yeah. So then what happened is I didn't quite have the internal energy to play it out realistically. So what I did is I went for the camp approach. So I cheated out to camera 2, and I gave them like a 55% like fear reaction because I thought that would be very over the top, very, very silly, very, very drag, you know? And Zach, how did you react?
So originally I was reacting in kind. I have ample amounts of energy today. So I was like, might as well give it what I got, you know? But then I realized yours was much funnier. So I kind of dialed back a little bit and went more for the, like technically, yes, I am screaming, but the comedy is that I'm not truly. My heart isn't in it.
So thank you so much to coming to our improvisational.
Yes.
We're so silly. Comedy class 101.
It's okay. Let your goofy side come out sometime.
Rock out with your cock out with DIVOS and Zach. So audio listeners, which is oh my goodness,
we're done subjecting them.
Yeah, we're in a mood today.
We are in a mood today.
So some of you might think that Zach is just corporate diva, but both Zach and I literally started our like adult life theater careers on the same stage.
Oh yeah,
and our roles, they were meant for, it was like family theater.
It was a family camp.
It was a family camp. So
camp.
I actually got to write the script, and Zach was the star of one show, and I was someone called the Hill Guy that parodied Billie Eilish's Hill Guy and did, how would you describe that dance style? Like
blockish, I would describe it as. Right? It was like
Sure. Very like Wreck-It Ralph. Very like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
But what my favorite part of that story, before you talk about your starring role, is we had our friend Megan Lee, who is currently in London. She's a dancer, amazing choreographer. It was her first time working with us, and she didn't quite grasp the gravity of the situation. So here I am, rocking it at 6'1", like 175, and there are like, she's suggesting the choreography be for this number that I walk along the backs of the other people in the number. Like literally take, like someone's on their knees, I step on their back. Someone's like leaning over, I step on their back.
It's like a staircase of humans.
I am legitimately 50 pounds heavier than most of the people. Were you in that pyramid?
I was supposed to be like the very last step.
And then she wanted me to fall backwards into people interlocking their arms on the ground.
She did.
Ideally, it would have been incredible, but this is family theater with like...
Oh my god.
And like, as you probably have seen from the pod, we're very like yes and people. We don't want to like bring down the vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of giving it a go, but I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to hurt someone. And also it's just like, of course, conceptually it would have been amazing, but...
The imagery of stepping on people is kind of...
Oh, right. Also, who am I to step on someone's back? Because if you step on the crack...
Your mama's
you
back.
break your mom's back.
Yes.
So if you step on your friend's actual back, who knows how?
I mean,
how the internal workings of the planet would end up.
I'm familiar with the butterfly effect, and just that's like the moth effect.
Oh.
What?
What? Huh?
What?
Okay, so Zach, tell us about your starring role.
Yeah, so my starring role was actually in the same performance. No, sorry. We had like 2 shows every single week that we would perform. Devin's DIVOS's Hill Guy role was in one of the shows. And my lead role was in the other show. I played someone called the Skittles Man. Essentially, just the man that invented Skittles. He wears like bright colored outfits. And actually, I had Skittles in my pockets for some of the weeks. It was awesome. Leading up to the summer, because Devin wrote the scripts for the shows, he told me, Zach, you're going to have to sing. Like, you're going to have to sing in this musical. I was like, oh, shit. I was stressing myself. And I think at some point, I just kind of realized if I just give it energy as much as I have, even if it's bad, it's at least funny to watch. So I had 2 notes. It was in the Fill Me Up Buttercup song, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like, why? And, hoo.
Why don't you fill me up?
Fill me up.
Buttercup, baby, don't you let me down.
Let me down.
Spin me around. That song.
Worst of all. My role was to sing the, what's that called? The worst of all.
Like the reverb, the backup,
yes.
The backing sing. Yeah.
I was the reverb in that song because I think Devin knew better than to put me in an actual leading singing role.
So we did an audition because I'm extra and I wanted to do an audition, even though it was like a silly family theater thing. And, a lot of our friends were in theater programs. And so they came in, they're like, okay, I'll audition for you, Divos, but like, I'm a little exhausted. I showed up to that audition painted like Juno Birch. I was fully blue. And I was like taking it very seriously.
I remember that.
And the monologue I had them prepare was the monologue,
Tyra
Banks' America's Next Top
Model. Be quiet, Tiffany! Be quiet!
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
How dare you?
And Zach comes in and lays it out. And then there was a singing portion. And I happen to know that Zach knows every word to Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. So I may or may not have squeezed that song into the application, into the audition cycle. And Zach nailed it. You nailed it.
I did nail it. I know. I was very pleased because obviously it paid off. I got the leading role after all that.
You earned it.
I did earn it. It was a lot of fun to be in that, learning the lines, learning the choreography.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a production. It was a whole production. And
Yeah.
I was the lead for it. So thank you. That was a really cool
thank you for sharing your talent.
Oh, stop. Look at us. Bunch of thankfuls.
What?
Huh?
In that show, I was a sleep dancing cow that would fall asleep unless there was music playing. So I did the Hoedown Throwdown, I did Blackpink, and I did Beyonce.
Who's counting?
Who ponders on the past?
We're looking forward into the future.
We have memories of the future.
Well, I mean, Devin, that was one of the first stages that you ever performed on.
Like, that was the first stage. I know.
Some could say the start of DIVOS.
Truly, I did not do any theater until the second half of college. And then, COVID hit. I was going to be a wealth manager, and I was like, I can't do this. When I living at home, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I did my DIVOS 365, where I tried to paint myself every day for a whole year, had my mental breakdown. The movie Soul snapped me out of it. Shout out Soul.
Shout out Soul. Beautiful movie, by the way.
Drove to Slow, sat on the sand dunes, and then I think that was right before I committed to faggotry full time.
You signed the lease.
Yeah, I signed it in the stand.
You signed the lease to slay.
Yeah, permission to slay granted, Your Honor.
Sustained.
But then you got that job, the wealth management job.
I did, yeah. I'm not sure if we told this on the podcast, but my role at the wealth management firm was because of Devin. I owe you so much.
You actually owe me 5%. But we'll talk about that later.
What? Huh?
Okay, educate the straight. I want to do not a silly one this week. I want to do a serious one that I just can't stop thinking about. Okay, so what do you know about the Tennessee drag bans that were trying to happen from last year / continuing to have problems? You can be honest.
I knew a lot when it was happening,
but none of the details.
Okay. I think they're trying to criminalize drag queens or keep them away from schools and stuff like that.
So the laws were that anything that was being perceived as drag was not allowed in public spaces. And so that was stricken down for the most part. But then what happened is that they reintroduced these laws being anything that is being perceived as, outside of societal norms or inappropriate or out of control, that is then potentially illegal in public spaces. So what is the problem with that? And when I lectured at UCLA, and I actually have some more lecturing opportunities coming up, which I'm really excited about, I challenge people to think I get to take all this off and be a man. And so if I'm in a public space in drag, I'm choosing to do that. And I have, accepted whatever kind of repercussions might come from that. But the problem with those laws in Tennessee are that people who are trans or were trying to just be their authentic selves all the time, if anyone deems oh, that's unacceptable or that's out of the ordinary, then those people at any point could be arrested and criminalized for what they were doing. And I just cannot stop thinking about how absurd and scary it is. I keep going back to We're Here because I'm obsessed with Sasha Velour, so I'm really tapped into this current season. But she literally places a call to a police department and was like, hi, we're looking at this verbiage. Can you explain to me what inappropriate means to you? And she's talking to someone in the police office. And the police guy that's on the phone is well, that's actually he dodges the question and he goes, it's actually up to the discretion of whichever officer shows up, if it's inappropriate or insert term that they had here. And Sasha Velour's well, that's the problem. That's why we're concerned, because what if someone's in someone very homophobic shows up, someone's in a bad mood, someone's who, and then you can just show up, and if you decide that this is inappropriate, then now this person could be arrested. And the officer's it's up to the discretion of the person that shows up.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd. That's the whole point of laws, is to take away that subjectivity of the person in the situation.
And so I get upset about this kind of thing because, like I said, I'm out here doing all this to be visible and to just be as, to introduce drag and queer stuff to more people, to whatever audience I can reach. That's why it's cool to have you as a co-host, because more people will listen. And then it's just so insane to me that they're trying to attack me, and they're scared of all queer people, But right now, drag is the thing that's at the forefront. But that's not the people who are being most affected. To be honest, it's the transgender people, the people who are outside of the gender binary, the queer people who are just walking on the streets. Like, they're the ones who are the most afraid and the most scared because they're just trying to live their lives and they're getting put at risk. And so that's... there's nothing else to say. I'm just upset about it. But that's to educate the straight this week.
So was that happening last year, or is it still ongoing right now?
Well, so it's all of that legislation was primarily happening last year, but it's a great. I mean, there are laws popping up all the time. Texas was having a lot of problems with them, but and it's the vagueness of this like legislation that puts people in danger. And unfortunately, like I think that what I present is very like it's art, right? Yeah. It's not realness. But realness is targeted much more aggressively because it makes people more uncomfortable for whatever reason. It's like the bathroom issue. It's just scary and it's too much and it makes me so sad. So
that is terrifying. That's really scary.
I know. So now that we're post Pride Month, don't forget that you need to keep supporting these people, because imagine if you were walking out of the house and you thought to yourself, I have to keep my head down. I have to be quiet. At any point I could be arrested because of the clothes that I'm wearing. Like, imagine if that was the reality of your situation. That's how you walked around every day. Or if you're, like, sitting in a restaurant trying to mind your own business and someone comes up to you and they're like, there's a police officer here. Like, you're making people really uncomfortable because you're sitting there. Like, it's actually ridiculous. And I know it sounds like I'm blowing it out of proportion, but this is the reality of the situation. So just think about it post-Pride Month. We have to keep going.
We have to keep going. I really hate that's just up to, like, the opinion of one person that happens to show up. And exactly to your point, if they're in a bad mood, if they are homophobic, or if they just like don't like you, it's up to them, and that's ridiculous. Like that's the whole point of laws to be set in place and checks and balances. That kind of power can't be abused.
It's being abused.
It's being abused.
It's being abused.
Hitting a high note for abuse is crazy.
But you know what hasn't been taken advantage of enough recently?
What?
The Patreon.
Could not agree more.
When's the last time you subscribed to the Patreon? Well, first of all, hi to all of our subscribers.
Hello.
We love you so much. If you're not on that Patreon, what's going on, baby?
What are you doing? There's tons of cool stuff to come from the Patreon. You get name shout outs when we have a fun story about you. Name privileges.
Privilege.
You get stickers.
Every month.
You get personalized letters from us.
Delivered to your door.
Come on. What is there not to love? Subscribe to the Patreon.
Does sex sell?
Does sex
sell?
Oh no.
Oh! Does sex sell? Does sex sell? We're gonna get clipped. Me doing my whole monologue about the importance of protecting queer people, and then it goes straight to does sex sell?
Does sex sell?
Does sex sell?
Oh no!
But we're allowed to be humans. We don't have to be perfect.
Cancel us. Try.
All press is good press.
All press is good press.
So you know what Zach and I and our third roommate Megan Lee have been obsessed with recently? The AFL.
Come on in, AFL.
Come on in, AFL. Sydney Swans are here with us today. Thanks for coming, Sydney Swans. The Australian Football League.
Insane.
I am talking these men, mostly with mustaches.
And mullets.
Eat the biggest legs that you've ever seen in your entire life. Running around, dribbling an oblong ball into a field that is like 2.5 times the size of a football field. Throwing it. Kicking it,
spiking it,
jumping over each other, spiking it, diving, sweating, kissing, everything. And it's like the most wholesome, and it's adorable.
And the rules make no sense. I dare you to try and figure out the rules
without looking them
up just by watching it. It's impossible.
It's so major.
It's insane.
It's like so much fun. And it's really cute too. Like, I don't know, we were watching highlights. We're actually kind of invested. I think we're going to get jerseys.
Of the Sydney Swans.
Of the Sydney Swans. One of our good friends is actually coming in to sublet for Zach. And a bit that we're going to have is we're going to give her a jersey when she moves in and act like we've been AFL fans our whole life.
Which we haven't.
Hello, Kimmer too.
Come on.
But anyway, so when the person's about to get like a landmark goal or whatever, so like, oh, this is about to be their 100th goal. it's a tradition in Australia. Everyone lines the perimeter of the field and rushes the stadium.
Oh,
And like the like officers are like trying to stop them, but they're not. It's just like having fun. Everyone's like, "Yeah, you did it!"
Oh, that's super cool.
Isn't that
wait, was that there? Where you guys watched that?
You must have been after you went to bed. And then the refs, when you score a goal, this is what they do.
Oh.
And they always look like Vector from Despicable Me for some reason. They're always like,
love it. I love it. I love it so much.
It's so major.
It's because it mixes. I'm not sure the origins, of course, but watching it mixes so many different sports. Like you bump it like it's a volleyball.
Sure.
You kick it like it's rugby.
Dribble it like basketball.
It's like
punt it like soccer. It's like amazing.
It's so cool. One of my favorite niche rules is the way you score. It's kind of like a field goal in American football, except there's 2 sets of poles, one narrow one and one wide one. If you get in the narrow one, it's like 6 points. Wide one is 1 point. But if they kick it in and the other team like touches it, then before it goes through, then it's also only worth 1 point.
Yeah.
So just like you see them find, just get a hand on the ball before it goes in.
The power of human touch.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
1 point.
Oh my god!
And if the ball goes out of bounds, the referee picks up the ball, turns around, so it's back to the field. And the way that they inbound it is they just go, "Yay! Yay!" It's just like, so audio listeners, they turn around and they just throw it back over their head like as far as they can. That's how you like inbound it.
It is hilarious. It's also in America. It's only on at like 2 a.m. on Fridays.
Right. Only manic hours.
Yeah, so if you want to watch it live, you have to be committed to it.
Yeah.
Which we are.
Clearly.
Oh, come on now.
Okay, well, I think it might be time for Twink Twank Twunk of the Week.
I think it is, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I have my twank. You're not going to like it.
No.
My twank is hard-boiled eggs.
Ooh, yeah. I do like those.
Especially hard-boiled eggs in a container. Goal. The smell of hard-boiled eggs are a little interesting to me. I do like how strange it is that after you boil up the embryonic fluid of this chicken, it turns into a gelatinous source. So I think that's very twank to me. And you get to peel it, so that's like very unique and different. So I think it's very twank. What do you think?
Well, I would agree with you. I think it also is very twank. But I view hard-boiled eggs as akin to like a protein bar.
Okay.
Like it's quick, it's easy. You get an egg's worth of protein. Like what is not to love?
Okay.
Well, the smell, I suppose.
The smell. It's the smell.
If you don't like the smell. But to be fair, let's recognize the bias in the room. You don't like eggs at all. So.
I like them when you bake them into cupcakes. Gotcha.
Stupid.
Gotcha.
No. Oh my goodness. My twank, folding tables.
Okay.
I mean, it's a table. It folds.
It folds in half.
It folds in half. You can carry it around like a big briefcase.
Sure.
You pull the legs out.
Sure.
Frankly, if you put a nice tablecloth over that, it looks nice.
True. It has so much range.
So much range.
Any event, really.
College kids use it. Adults use it. Kids' birthday parties use it.
Right.
I've slid across one before. Tailgates. All kinds of things, really.
You've slid across one before?
I have, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have twink. Okay. My twink is much like the buttons on the bottom of your leotard here, but buttons that go click, click together.
And you hear like a sound.
You hear that snap. Yes.
Okay.
What are those called? They have a name.
Buttons.
Buttons. Well, no. Buttons are like
snappers.
Snappers.
Clickers.
It's audio listeners and visual viewers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like one end is a circle.
Shall we show them? They're in my coochie.
They're in the coochie.
Right here, baby. Zoom in on that.
No man. No man.
Zach, to get this comment on, is the greatest sport of all time. He gooch dives, and this time I was standing above him. He was laying on the floor with his hands up. Like he was like trying to operate me like a puppet, like
from beneath.
From beneath.
Those are very twink to me. Very dainty.
Yeah, those are very twink.
Because they pull apart at a moment's notice.
Sure. My twunk of the week is elementary school cafeteria food. So to be fair, where I am seeing in California, the food is much better than what I grew up with. Where I grew up, the food was like potatoes with smiley faces in them. That was the best part. And then I literally can't eat. My lunch in middle school was a bag of chips and a water bottle because I couldn't stomach any of the food that happened there. You had to be twunk to get nourishment. So elementary school food for me was the epitome of twunk. I couldn't handle it. I wasn't twunk enough.
That sounds terrible.
I know.
We
So
got, like, Domino's for ours and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no! Like the only good ones were sometimes there were little drumsticks that were pretty good, and there were tacos, but the shell was really gross. So I would just eat the little scoop of like meat out of the center. It was like Taco Bell meat. The other meals I literally couldn't stomach, and it's like a tell-all. And so I had to go home and make lunch for myself every day because I just like couldn't eat it. So I just have like chips and water bottle at school, and then eat when I got home.
That sounds like actually awful.
Twunk.
Damn, very twunk. We would get these little milk pouches. I know you're repping out, but we would get these little milk pouches. You ever seen those before? They're like just like plastic and square pouch, which is chocolate milk inside.
Oh.
And you put a little straw in. One time I got lucky and like I got two that were connected. They accidentally didn't cut them off. So I had two. What I chose to do is put a straw in the middle, make a penis, and I got sent to the principal's office.
Gag.
I know.
Gag.
Didn't even drink my milk. Fucked up.
I actually have one good memory. Maybe it was middle school food and high school food. In elementary school, me and my friends used to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like the Smucker's ones, a carton of milk, and a cookie, and we would race to finish it.
Oh,
it was really cute.
That is really cute.
Oh, wait, I actually have good memories. My like parents would sometimes bring McDonald's to school, like on my birthday, and so it was like so major, like McDonald's, while everyone else had. Yeah, it was so cute.
Oh, that is awesome.
And like the Lunchables, the nacho Lunchables, were like my favorite with like they had warheads in them. Oh my god. Okay, so maybe it was middle and high school food.
I think
at the cafeteria
perhaps.
was twunk.
So when I was in high school, my mom would bring me this sandwich from this like French cafe we loved going to together. Mm-hmm. So just randomly like, Zach, like, hey, you want La Parme? I'd be like, yes. Like, we'd bring it in the parking lot, and it was awesome.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was really sweet. Good times. My twunk of the week is the profession of plumbing.
That's a clear.
Yeah, I feel like it's just pretty obvious. Essential. I think they get paid pretty well too, as they should. Yeah, it's a hard job, you know, and a necessary
when
one.
There is hair in like a shower drain, I want to jump. I literally like, oh my god,
disgusting. What would you do if I just want to
stop. Twunk, so twunk. You did it.
Cut it out. All right. What's your twink?
My twink.
Right here.
Is Zachary Lewis.
Yes.
This is my twink. Homegrown in San Diego, Encinitas, California. Technically Carlsbad, but let's get them as close to the water as we can. Yes, smiley, happy, all you can ask for. This is my twink.
Ding. Well, I think that just about wraps up the episode, huh?
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Make sure you follow all of our socials for promos of the episodes, our favorite highlights, and check out our personal socials. We've actually both been doing really cool things. Zach is traveling. I have been turning the drag out. You know how Pride Month was. It was a huge success.
Huge.
And we're not slowing down. So we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Get home safe.